Another day here on the brand spanking new Splash Play NBA channel. You know what we're going to do today is what we do every day now. We're going to look at the slate, of course, talk about the projections and the ownership. We're going to also look at some simulations, both the DFS lineups and also some simulations of props using Unabated tools, of course, which you can get for yourself. Link in the description, $30 off on that one. But let's get into it. Sorry for the slightly late start here. Is really workshopping the hell out of the one lineup I'm going to put in tonight. Well, at least for now. But let's see what we do after we take a look at this slate. Let's go in the order of the games up top here because I think there's enough to talk about on this front. Do have the Stokastic ownership updated, my own projections also updated in here, along with the usage rate, rebound rate, assist rate, true shooting, fantasy points per minute, all the core stats you need to know to try to simplify this down as much as possible. So you got Denver, back-to-back game for them. Yesterday went toe-to-toe with Toronto. Hung in that game a lot more than you would expect. So I would say for Denver's perspective, game here where you're maybe not expecting these guys to get the full run today, but they are right now projected very well, assuming they do get the 36 minutes for a guy like Jokic, 33 for Jamal Murray, who is adrift right now, a play I did not like that much. I talked about on the deeper dive yesterday with Josh Engelman on Stokastic's YouTube channel, but Jamal Murray not playing like himself this year, low usage, low assist rate to start as well, shooting pretty poorly, expect him to get up at some point, but for right now, Jamal Murray not playing that well to start the year. Shout out to the chat as well. We got a guy Eddie here. Robert Griffin III. I appreciate that. I do know my balls. I know these two balls better than most, but my passion here, going to do another channel. I appreciate you guys joining along with me because NFL and NBA, the two sports I care the most about. MLB, if you pay me, I'm willing to get there. And really, if I opened up a wrestling channel and an Overwatch, me playing Overwatch channel, those are like the four things I'm hopefully most good at in life. Parenting too. Really great at parenting. Aaron Gordon, also projectable play here. Really all these guys you see over a 5 value you're going to see as players I think are going to be mostly people's player pools tonight, especially mine. Michael Porter Jr., good situation for him. The usage has not been great from the start of the year. The good news is he's getting submitted to that second unit. So my pal Josh Engelman was talking about that in the NFL, not NFL strategy, the NBA strategy show this morning on Stokastic. Basically, you're getting Michael Porter Jr. now playing submitted to that second unit alongside guys like Russell Westbrook, who's leading that group. The downside is Russell Westbrook going to take a lot of usage away generally there, even though so far to start the year, only 24% usage for him, 25% assist rate, which by Russ standards, killing 50% of the possessions, relatively low compared to what he's done at times in his career. For Michael Porter Jr., though, the fact that he's a shooter and he's out there that second unit, there's a lot more opportunity for him to get up those shots without Jokic out there, without Jamal Murray out there. Probably a good thing for Porter overall. So he's in play tonight. He was definitely been a consideration for me to put in some lineups. Feel like if they get going tonight and if they blow out Brooklyn especially, I think Michael Porter Jr. probably a good part of that. Russell Westbrook not playable right now to me at a 5K salary. I've got him projected a little bit better than Stokastic, but still only a 4.4x value. Maybe a tournament play with the usage he's been getting, but the minutes just not high enough at 20.4 minutes. Honestly, maybe he gets running here and they give him more time because the game against Brooklyn doesn't matter that much. I guess that'd be the one way you maybe make a slight case for Russell Westbrook, but hard to see it. Christian Brown, kind of a tough call for me on this slate on DraftKings. I think he's a very strong play. Was really laboring back and forth whether it's paying up, worth paying up for him. Sticking with Chalk Moses Moody, we're going to talk about in that Warriors game. But Brown, playable here. One of the better value plays is going to be 31% as you can see, 31% owned as you can see in this right column over here. So Brooklyn, earlier today, Cam Thomas was projected for under 10% ownership. He would have been one of my preferred tournament plays on the slate, on a short slate here, only a 4-gamer. So I think Cam Thomas, with the usage he's had, 32.4 to start the year, not assisting a bunch, but shooting really well. If Brooklyn's going to stay in this game and if you get the full run for a guy like Nikola Jokic, I talk about this a lot, and it's something that's kind of been a football principle, but I'm realizing has a lot more merits in NBA as well. Where yesterday on the Stokastic stream, I talked about, and I think on this one too, talked about, hey, if you play Nikola Jokic, consider playing Scotty Barnes with him because basically the only way Jokic sees all of his stints is going to be if Scotty Barnes is out there being productive. It's got to be either him or RJ Barrett producing way above their head. Ended up being Scotty Barnes, who had a really good game before he got poked in the eye and left the game, I think, is how that ended for him. But basically, Jokic had his full run because of the fact there was a guy on the other side pushing him there. So it's kind of the same thing we talk about in football and splash play all the time, where you have your bringbacks, you have your game environments and all of that. And the goal is really going to be in general to try to capture those together. So how does this player hit, really exceed the median projection they're expected to get for this run of minutes? It's having another guy on the opposing team push them there. So like if you're playing Jokic tonight, I would say playing Cam Thomas makes sense. You could obviously play Jokic separately because he's going to probably give you, 50, 55, maybe 60 fantasy points tonight as sort of that middle outcome. So he works in that construct as well. But if you see him really push the ceiling and give you that tournament winning ceiling, it might come with a guy like Cam Thomas or Dennis Schroeder on the way back. Schroeder's role has been pretty good to start the year. 24% usage, 32% assist rate. It's a lot of ball handling time to go around there with no Ben Simmons. So Schroeder, I think a pretty good play. Going to be chalky, though. 39% ownership going his way. Shout out Steven here. Schroeder and Johnson chalk looks delicious. Yeah, Cam Johnson projects pretty well. I'm not really sold on how he's being used so far to start the year. He's been where he's been historically, but I kind of think I think the ball gets dominated more by Schroeder and Cam Thomas. But Cameron Johnson, I think, a fine enough play. Certainly in cash games, I think you'd be the one you're going to want at small forward or power forward if you're playing a cash game for some reason on tonight's slate. Rest of the Nets here, I think all these guys could be fairly playable. Dorian Finney-Smith, not the greatest player in the world. He works well enough. Noah Clowney, a lot of usage going around. So for him, I think it's a pretty good one. Shout out Spurious News here. First time watching your NBA show. Loving it so far. Hey, it's only day 2, guys. But if you're tuning in for the first time, please make sure to subscribe down below. Hit the like button. All of that helps me out a bunch here because brand new channels are a pain in the ass to get going. But I just didn't think it made sense to put it all on the same NFL channel. So we are here. We're doing NBA every day at 4 p.m. That is the promise. So please do hit that old subscribe, hit that like button, all that. Jalen Wilson, not playable. Zaire Williams, I think kind of interesting as well. Again, same price point as some of the Golden State cheap chalk. So him projects pretty well for me. I have projected about 3 points better than Stokastic, so maybe a little bit of a blind spot, but his usage is okay. His rebound rate's okay. Zaire Williams, I've seen do well in the past in spots. He's had minutes and out of those teams. So I think for Zaire Williams, one of those low-owned pivots here under 10% owned, I think for the Golden State chalk, we're going to see in a moment. Of course, we got the unabated props coming up at 4:15 today, guys, so stay tuned. A lot of people actually commented yesterday, both in the Discord and the chat this morning on YouTube. People did really well with the props that we featured on stream yesterday, so stay tuned for that because this is really the only free access you're going to get to unabated data is here on this stream every day. Hey, shout out FFD. I'm glad you found the channel. I appreciate it. All right, so we got Dallas, 108 implied points, Minnesota, 113 implied points. Dallas, not a lot to like here. If you want to try to target the tournament upside, you could, but a back-to-back for the team facing Minnesota should be a game that you would think is competitive, but 5-point spread going against Dallas on the road. Wouldn't shock me if Minnesota ran with this one, just really ran away with this one, and then Dallas called off the dogs because of the fact they are on that back-to-back. So I think reason to have some cause for concern overall. The minutes projections look pretty reasonable, though, if you expect to go with that. Luka, I'm always a little bit lower projected, which, again, the great irony, I named my son after him. I'm lower on him than Stokastic most days. But we got a little bit of a difference there where Stokastic has been 54.7, so look like a slightly better play. Kyrie, I don't think playable at 7,700. Certainly tournament option, low-owned player on a 4-game slate, you get it. But all these guys under 10% owned. So as we always talk about in the NFL version of Splash Play, chalky ownership just means these are good plays on paper. The reason they become chalk is because everybody thinks they're a good play. So when that comes together, you see that. In this case, these guys are not perceived as good plays. They certainly can be tournament options you can get to. Hey, shout out Eric. I appreciate that. Late, what's up, Spags? Awesome stuff, man. Appreciate it. Hey, I'm here every day. I know people can't be here every day, but I will be here because I'm now contractually committed to do with our pals at Unabated and, of course, Stokastic. And Unabated coming up in about 4 minutes here. No matter what I'm doing, I'm going to drop it and get it Unabated as soon as those projections are available. Naz Reid, very interesting. He's been pretty decent lately. Price tag today works. Not going to be too highly owned. Only 11% ownership going his way. So, the usage for him, not great overall, under 20%, but a 15% rebound rate, producing per minute, basically in line with where he's been historically. Today, I'd expect him to have 1.03 fantasy points per minute. So, 26 minutes or so, it's okay. Think he would be a pivot point for, again, some of the Golden State players that are in that cheaper price range. Naz Reid, I don't mind. He's honestly, when he's low owned, he's not a bad play. When he's chalk, you sometimes can get left holding the bag. So he's okay here. But your chalk plays look like they'll be Anthony Edwards, Julius Randle. Randle, I know when you run the Stokastic sim after you do unabated, we are going to get a good amount of Julius Randle, I believe, with Stokastic sims as well using my projections. Honestly, I'm flat with Stokastic, though, 40.5 compared to 40.2. You can see this is the Stokastic column. This is my column of projections. Nobody else here seems, to stand out too much. These guys are all playable, rotationally playable. In terms of your lineups, Conley, I think, is one player I got a lot more in sims than I was comfortable with. He's been shooting really poorly to start the year, though. So whenever you see a guy in the early part of the year who's really due for positive regression on true shooting, sometimes those are guys to target in the hopes that you capture that bounce back game at a much lower price tag. So Conley at 4,400 for a guy getting 25.3 minutes, who has possessions on the ball basically, 41% of the time, 19% usage plus 22% assist rate. So Conley's got the ball in his hands about, 2/5 of the time he's on the court. Not a bad play, I think, to expect to try to target that bounce back if you can. We've got a few minutes left. Unabated comes out. See if we can get in this last couple games. Sacramento, some players here I think will come out a good amount with projections as well. I've got Sabonis higher than Stokastic does. I've got him at 49.2. I think he's a strong play at 32% expected ownership. De'Aaron Fox, I think he's also a valid play. Comes up a lot in the sim because he's not projected so well that everybody's going to be playing him. 29% ownership is a pretty good clip, though. DeMar DeRozan is the one who seemingly yielded the most of his historical role in the Sacramento offense so far. You can see over here he's only at a 24% usage rate so far, 6% rebound rate, 11% assist rate. Oddly enough, Sabonis is really dominating the ball more than I would have thought. I kind of felt like he would lose assist rate more with having DeRozan out there. Guy can create his own shot and tries to create shots for others as well in the process of that. For DeRozan, he's just been kind of yielding to these guys, so maybe that starts to level out. But so far, early signs from a few games in, Sabonis seems like he's mostly kept the role. So I think if you don't play Jokic tonight, playing Sabonis would be pretty cool. I don't know if it'd be cool, but it'd be pretty logical and maybe cool. Wolves are running their starters to the ground, running basically an 8-man rotation. Yeah, I have that here as well. Dillingham at some point's got to get minutes, but I don't think it's today. Dozier, you see these guys getting fractional amounts of a minute and chance that they get any run. Seems unlikely to expect today, but yeah, they're kind of playing the classic Tibbs approach in terms of their roster. Utah side of the equation, Lowry Markkanen looks okay to me. Walker Kessler, I think, is a center play I'll go to, and I'm not paying up all the way there at a $5,700 price tag, only 15% ownership. Decently owned plays here. A home game for Utah, 7-point dogs. If they keep this one competitive, though, and again, you were trying to game stack a little bit up here, on a 4-game slate, game stacks have a little more merit as well. You're getting pretty low ownership with all these Utah guys. So Markkanen has big upside. He works pretty well, pretty good usage, shooting decently on the year. Colin Sexton doesn't project as well today, but he does have theoretical upside. Keontae George, reasonable price tag and projection on him. But Kessler and Markkanen definitely the ones that are come up the most, with a little bit of John Collins from what I'm seeing so far. And last one to look at before we head over to Unabated and check out their projections for the day, of course, the main event course, and then we'll do some Stokastic sims as well for the DFS lineups. New Orleans, we got Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram projecting close enough to play, but not really projecting so well. They're going to come up in a ton of lineups. So for Zion and Brandon Ingram, I like these guys a lot. I think especially if you're playing the Golden State chalk, I would think about playing Zion and Brandon Ingram tonight, both individually, one of them, because these guys basically hit their upside more when you have enough production from Golden State to say they kept this game competitive. So it's only a 1.5-point spread favoring New Orleans on the road, which kind of a surprise given, again, no Steph Curry for Golden State for at least a week. So I think this game, if you're going to play all the Golden State chalk, trying to play somebody from the Pelicans makes sense. CJ McCollum, I would have had projected a little bit better, knocked his projection down. So now I'm slightly behind Stokastic. He's projected for 37 minutes, so the most minutes on the team, and also, not terrible ownership at 19%. Jordan Hawkins, I think, is playing a little bit over his head to start the year. 19% usage, 11% rebound rate, but 71% true shooting. That said, this spot, he's getting 30 minutes a game, playing pretty well. I think Hawkins is an interesting tournament play. But I think, to me, Zion and Ingram with the Golden State chalk the most interesting. And lastly, we have Golden State here. Again, no Steph Curry today. We'll look at the unabated props in a moment to see what we get to. But on Golden State, so Draymond Green, this is the rate for him on the year. It's also not any better for him in games without Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. He's basically kind of minimized to a nothing role in those games historically. It's only about 200 minutes of court time, according to Add More Fun's NBA Wowie. But I do that as part of my projections. I pull those minutes in and try to evaluate if I trust the rate data or not. And actually, it might be worth just looking at real fast over here. Yeah, so historically in games without some of the core guys overall, you know what? I didn't even put Draymond in the sample size because his rates fell off so bad that he would have been a much worse play. But Draymond, people I think expect he's just going to be the point guard. He might bring the ball up, but I think he's going to end up giving the ball up to Podziemski to kind of initiate the offense. So the starting lineup here is a key one to watch out for. If Moses Moody starts, he's a better play. If he's coming off the bench, he's going to be really chalky, but a riskier play with his high value metric. Buddy Hield, I like a lot because his rates have been off the chart. He's producing 1.5 fantasy points per minute with a 29% usage rate, 23% assist rate, rebounding well. He's been doing that without having Steph Curry on the court. Now he probably isn't going to, he's not going to have Steph, probably also not going to have Wiggins today. So the Wiggins injury is a key one, though. He's questionable right now. I don't think the status has changed since I last looked. But basically, for Wiggins, if Wiggins is out, that means you're guaranteed Podziemski run, you're guaranteed Moody run, you're guaranteed run from Buddy Hield more so, you're guaranteed possibly some Guy Santos, Lindy Waters minutes, which won't matter that much, but should matter a little bit. If Wiggins were somehow to get in, he would throw off the entire feng shui here, and I think Podziemski would still be playable, but everybody else would get worse. So that's the main injury you're watching out for right now. But I will tell you guys, in terms of the lineup, I was kind of laboring over before the stream. That's why I was a minute late. I did say, I was like, I got to get Healed in, got to get Podziemski in, and Moody, I'm a little bit iffy on. So that's basically it. Wiggins unlikely. I mean, I presume he is too, but just in case somebody sneaks in, that's it. Pod's got minutes from everyone. I like him. Yeah, Podziemski, the main thing is that he just contributes in every category, and they just need somebody that's going to do that. You're losing so many possessions with Steph Curry not being in the game. I mean, you're talking about 70% of the possessions usually flow through him because the combination of usage rate, which is how much you're shooting or turning over the ball, and assist rate, that's basically how many times you're possessing the ball when you're on the court. Steph Curry is basically possessing the ball 70% of the time he's on the court between those two stats. So when you get rid of that, everything else changes a lot. But I think Buddy Hield's got the juice back. I mean, he's shooting really well, a little bit above his head. It's 70% true shooting to start the year that you can see over here. But I think he's playing well enough at this point, and the usage is there. Give him more runway, give him more minutes. I think he's probably going to be a little bit less efficient. But if he puts up, what I have for his expected fantasy points, and this is looking at, a rolling sample going back to last year, 1.3 fantasy points per minute for Buddy Hield would be like a game that matters. So that's the overview so far. Guys, if you're watching this one, again, you're not subscribed or hit the like button, please do both here. Brand new channel here. Your sports could go even further than it does usually on the main Splash Play NFL channel. But of course, NBA streams every Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. That is my commitment here. And I'm committed to it in large part thanks to our friends at Unabated. So check them out. Get $30 off right now, unabated.com. I have to log back in here, so give me a sec. I didn't know they were going to make me do the dance that all these platforms make me do on the site. Basically, with Unabated, what you get here are projections made by Justin Fan and a team of guys who've been really, dedicated to this. And they're not making projections for DFS slates. They're making projections designed for the betting team, both at Unabated as well as all the users. So they're doing some really cool stuff in Unabated that I like, including the simulation tool. So what we're going to do right now, let's do points first, even though I did open assists. I like to do it in order. We're going to look at the points props, the rebounds props, the assist props, and try to find what the best values are with Unabated's NBA projections, which, again, you can get for yourself, and I really would recommend. They're going to have it downloadable as well at some point in the next few weeks. You can use it as an exportable CSV, so check that out. And if you are tuning in just for the DFS part, hang out for a moment here at 4, let's say like 4:35 or so. I'll go back and run the sims on Stokastic and get those too. So have no fear. We're not done yet, but I got to show Unabated as soon as they come out because these lines are going to move around. So your top ROI lineups or top ROI points bets right now, according to Unabated, you're getting a 15% edge on under 9.5 points for Russell Westbrook. So getting value on prize picks as well. As I've mentioned a few times on here, and I have to start mentioning every day, anything above a 2% differential here, really in any sort of expected value calculation, but including this, anything over 2%, good to go. Sim ROI is a little bit bigger than market projection ROIs because basically the market data is only going to have so much fluctuation, whereas sim data can give you a little more variance upon, just determining what the standard deviation is and for a play and how often it's going to hit. So honestly, prize picks right now, you can build a card off of Westbrook under 9 points, DiVincenzo over 11.5, Luka Doncic under 29.5. Wouldn't take these. These would be a little bit lower, but that's how I would start a card right now. And Draymond under 8, I guess. That's got a 4% ROI too. So I would take those plays right now. Missed you dancing. I was on another tab. I don't think I was dancing. It's got the moves like Jagger. Yes, I'm sure. Oh, shit. I'm on a different. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why I keep forgetting to share the tab. It's on me. A new channel. That's what the jiggers are. There we go. There we go. That's it. All right. So here you can see these ones on the screen now for points. Alvarado just came in as well, but that's not on prize picks. Anyway, I built the prize picks card for you. I'll read it again. Now you can see it on the screen. Westbrook under 9 points on prize picks would be good. I don't have a prize picks affiliate code, so do it on your own. Draymond Green under 8, 4%. I really, it's my first day. It's my first day doing this. DiVincenzo over 11.5. If you get that on any market, but on prize picks as well. You'll see when lines move with that little yellow flash. And actually, Luka Doncic under on points as well. 8% ROI on that. So under 29.5 for prize picks. Really, you can just legit build a prize picks card off only these points bets we're seeing. Let's go to rebounds, though. Let's do that next. So rebounds props, again, using the Unabated projection team's data. You're getting it on the screen right now. All right, over for Brandon Ingram rebounds. So that pairs with what I'm trying to do DFS-wise tonight. 5.5% ROI and over 6 rebounds for Brandon Ingram. They've got him projected for 6.7. So market line of over 5.5 also looks pretty good out there on the DraftKings pick 6, it looks like. Draymond Green projected for 5.9 rebounds. You're getting still pretty good value on under 6.5, 18% ROI in the pick six. Really the biggest lesson here, which is something I know. I don't have pick six in Pennsylvania. If you could play anything, I would play pick six. Like, you're getting really soft lines. They don't update them meticulously, even though it should be connected to the DK Sportsbook. The pick six tournament format on there. So it seems like you get a lot of value on pick six based on what I've seen, to the point where honestly, I might take them out of the best bet things. There's like too much pick six shit in here. But Draymond Green under 6.5, get it on pick six. Let's take out pick six. I grow weary of you already, pick six. Well, six only the primaries. That's the best way to do this. All right, so DK Sportsbook overall. There we go. So now it's just DK Sportsbook and prize picks. Brandon Ingram over 5.5 rebounds looks pretty good. 8% ROI, which you get on DK Sportsbook. You also get a 5.5% ROI and over 6 rebounds on prize picks. So Brandon Ingram would be another one to add to the card alongside Zion over 6.5 rebounds. Rudy Gobert over 12.5 rebounds. So pretty good value for a card tonight if you wanted to play. I really should get a prize picks affiliate code, huh? Because it seems like we're giving away a lot of prize picks. Kuminga plus 7.4% value on DK Sportsbook. He's projected for 4.5 rebounds, but they think there's value on the under 4.5. Game theory wise, that would be a little bit tough for me. What do I have Kuminga projected for myself? I've got Kuminga projected for 4.5 from the dot as well. Always makes me feel good in my projection aligns with like a team of people working together. So they've got it 4.5. I've got it 4.5. So I guess Kuminga under looks like it's got some value. You do pick six. They have a lot of boosts lately. All right, well, there you go. I mean, I got pick six on the screen. I'm going to take it off the best line thing, though, because it shouldn't take over the entire thing. But DK Sportsbook, because basically the best line ones I'm showing you guys. I don't want to put in every book because you should be paying for Unabated to see every book. But I do track DK Sportsbook, FanDuel, the ones I know you guys are probably going to have access to. You are getting a lot more best lines from DraftKings Sportsbook so far this NBA season, which surprises me a little bit. I guess it doesn't because we did weight FanDuel NBA data a little bit more heavily than DraftKings, but you're getting good lines on DraftKings more than I would think. Daniel Tice over 4.5 rebounds looks pretty good as well. He's projected for 5.1, 6.4% edge on that. Also playable on prize picks with a 3% EV on over 4.5 at minus 118 odds. Draymond Green under for him on rebounds. Projected for 5.9. You can take the under 6 on prize picks, 3.4% EV on that one. And last but not least, we'll do the assists. Let's go here. There'll be a little more to talk about with Unabated's projections when I can just kind of look at them too and show you guys them and see if they have any notable differentials between Stokastic and what I'm looking at, I guess, too. But we're not there yet, unfortunately. So bear with me, but really do. If you can support this show with your dollar, really go check out Unabated right now. Their props package as well, which includes a lot of stuff similar to what you're seeing on the screen. You get that for only $53 for a month. So really think the Unabated sim tool stuff is really cool. Their data, I love Stokastic too. Like, I think they're two of the best companies out there. It's why I wanted to partner with them for this. So I recommend really, if I give the cosign to something, hopefully it's worth your time. Your best lines right now. So Luka Doncic on prize picks again, under 8.5 assists. A lot of value in the sim today. I'm going under on Luka Doncic, which I think, again, fits them being on a back-to-back. Minnesota being a good team who certainly could run away, especially with concentrated minutes for their star players. I think Luka Doncic unders seem like they're pretty appealing based on all this math. Kuminga under 2.5 assists. Also looks plus EV, 5% EV on that if you're betting it on DraftKings Sportsbook. Play it wherever you can get under 2.5, I guess. Brandon Ingram, project for 5.1 assists. Right now, his over 4.5 assist line looks good. If you get it at minus 118 odds, that's a plus 4.8% EV. So playable for your prize picks card, playable for your underdog card. Really think if nothing else, this stream's going to make you build efficient cards here last minute. So hopefully that had some value for your guys. And your last real plus EV one probably wouldn't go with the Zion one, even though I'm happy to see him projected for an over. CJ McCollum projected for 4.9 assists by Unabated's NBA projection team. They got a 2.9% EV on that on over 4.5. So you get that over 4.5 line at DraftKings Sportsbook. I hope this has been a good amount of lines, guys. I feel like we're doing some good stuff. And also, I forgot. They did ask me to show this video too. So you want to learn more about Unabated's NBA projections, guys? Here you go. Listen to it go. I'll talk over it. Are you fired up? Projections? Do you love screens? You like seeing projections clicked? Turn them on. Turn them off. Simulate away. Real-time news right in your face from a quality team has been doing it with a bunch of companies before. Alternate prop lines. Yeah, you got those. Graphs. You like graphs? You got graphs. Community. You want community? Come on up all over this community. Expert live streams, they go at the same time as me. You gotta pay for it, though. You gotta pay for it. Counting money. We're counting money, guys. Anyway, there we go. There you go. Hey, you can click it. I hope that helped. I hope that added value. So that's your unabated projections here. And again, now the video's like a little bit too long, so I felt like I had to talk over it. But they do put in work. Again, really, I've been impressed by working with these guys after, again, working with Stokastic for so long as well. So full shouts to the unabated team. And you know what? We got a minute here. I'll show one more. I don't think they'll get too mad at me. Let's look at PRAs. What an ad. I guess we got a new bit, so that's good. We got to develop new bits for the show. Your PRA props that look the best right now. I love PRAs. Maybe I'll just do PRAs every day. PRA is your best line. Over 33.5 for Zion. Has a 10.3% EV. You can get that on DK Sportsbook. Plus EV on Prize Picks and Underdog as well. Over 34 is the line there. You get a 7.8% EV on those sites. Anthony Edwards, under on his PRAs. I'm surprised to see that. 9.6% EV on Anthony Edwards. Another one you could take on DK Sportsbook. God, I really hope you guys beat up on DK Sportsbook. I fucking hate DK Sportsbook. 7.8% EV as well for Anthony Edwards, under on 25.9. Actually, no, on under on 39 PRAs on Prize Picks and Underdog. Draymond Green, you've got a projection of a bunch of different stats here. Value on under 20.5, 6.8% EV. You got a 4.8% EV on under 20 on Prize Picks as well. Luka Doncic, under on his, or value in his under 6.5% EV and under 46 PRAs. Same thing for Prize Picks, under 46 PRAs, 6.5% EV. McCollum, value on the over, 5.90% EV there. Only on DK Sportsbook, it looks like, out of the primaries we got here. And Kuminga, plus 3.9%. That's the EV on the under 27.5 PRAs. So Kuminga projected pretty well, but value on the under. I feel like the sports betting markets, simulation markets here, not as favorable towards Kuminga. But there's your PRAs. There's your unabated video for today. So shout out Unabated. Let's go do some Stokastic stuff. Back to DFS. And again, really can't encourage enough. Check out Unabated. Their tool is really cool. They have a cool tool. And I do really think, again, important for me to work with people I know, I trust, that I know we're going to give you guys good information. And they are certainly one I'd put in that criteria. So check out Unabated. Another one, of course, I'd put in that criteria as well, Stokastic. That's why I promote them as well. Do streams with them too. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I do the deeper dive with Josh Engelman. So let's plug some Stokastic and let's look at some Sims here. Of course, Stokastic, what we're going to do is build 10,000 line, or build 5,000 lines here, excuse me. Now have to compete 10,000 times. So that's what you get from Stokastic here coming up. And yeah, we'll see what we get. I think right now I have my projections loaded in there. So I think it should import them over from my laptop because I was building some lineups with my own. So today you'll see my data and pretend it's good. Pretend it's really cool and good. That's when we get to the sim part. That'll matter. So it is 25% to first today. Oh, you know what? This is Stokastic Day. Never mind. You won't see my projections today. Sorry, nerds. You only see them on screen. Let's run the sim here with Stokastic data and see what we get. My Sims, I think I still have them open over here. My Sim top 150. Let me see if I can grab it. So if you really wanted to tail just my projections, which again, please feel free to follow the multi-million-dollar company with the top DFS players making projections. I got 96% Buddy Hield with my projections. I got 72% Moses Moody with my projections. Got 56% Cameron Johnson with mine. 56% Pajemski with mine. Domantas Sabonis 45%, surprised me a little bit, but again, the rate's been pretty good for him. Dennis Schroeder, I got 42% of the time. Jokic 41%, a little bit above the field. But the guys I'm most exposed to would be Hield, getting almost 4x the field on him, which seems impossible. But you know, base like 3x. Moses Moody, getting him a good amount more. So Hield, Moody, Cameron Johnson, Pajemski, Sabonis, I guess, would be like my core. But Stokastic's core, see what they got. Their top ROI lineups for the Stokastic projections: Mike Conley, Dennis Schroeder, Buddy Hield, Julius Randle, Nikola Jokic, Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga, Walker Kessler. So make sure that this is, yeah, okay, this is right. So they've got Hield projected well enough to make a lineup too. So Hield's going to, I mean, Hield looked like he'd be decently owned, but kind of surprised to see him come up on the top ROI lineup for Stokastic's data because I got him way lower than I do. The difference right now between me and Stokastic on Hield, I've got Hield for 37.4. Stokastic has him for 30.7. So again, please feel free to default to the brilliant website out there. But you know, like I do like Hield a little bit more than it seems like they do. Actually, you know what? Just out of curiosity, let me go to Unabated again here. This would come in handy. Let's see what they have Hield projected for. Hopefully they won't mind me going a little bit off the pale. Oh, they don't have Hield for PRAs. Okay. Do we have his points maybe? We've got Hield projected. They've got him skewing under by a little bit. But they've got him for 16.9 points. Seems like they don't have a market for Hield rebounds, which there just might not be a main market for it, or assists. They've only got Hield points, unfortunately, it looks like. Just to make sure that's correct. Yeah. All right. So that's why he doesn't have a PRA bet. All right. So doesn't really answer the question, unfortunately, but I wanted a tiebreaker on Hield's projection and I didn't get it. So one day we'll get it. Only in DFS should you say the guys I'm most exposed to. Hey, it's true. You know, but hey, whatever people do in their private time, I'd like to yell over commercials. I like and video files people give me. All right. So that lineup, we read that one. Kuminga, Kessler, all those players look good to me. Schroeder, Anthony Edwards, Cameron Johnson, Keegan Murray, Nikola Jokic, Moses Moody, Buddy Hield, Kevon Looney. That's your number 2 ROI lineup. Looney feels pretty thin. He's been producing well per minute, but he's the backup setter. Maybe gets a few more minutes because of Draymond Green having to play some pseudo point guard, but I don't really think Looney is the most credible play in the world, even though he looks pretty good as one of those value to projection plays. Brandon Pajemski, Buddy Hield, Cam Johnson, Julius Randle, Nikola Jokic, Moses Moody, Aaron Gordon, Walker Kessler. You're seeing some commonalities here. Golden State guys, Walker Kessler making a good amount of lineups as well. Let's see. DiVincenzo, Moody, Cam Johnson, Randle, Jokic, Hield, Zion, Kevon Looney again. That's your number 4 ROI lineup according to them. Number 5, according to Stokastic, Dennis Schroeder, Moses Moody, Cam Johnson, Cam Thomas, Nikola Jokic, Pajemski, Buddy Hield, Walker Kessler. I think I like that one the most. You have 3 Brooklyn guys, which is really the one way Nikola Jokic plays his full game. Again, the push-pull of how guys get their full minutes rotations. Tough to expect Jokic to play the full minutes no matter what, just because of the fact that he did play late into that game yesterday against Toronto. Like they needed to get to game winner time to win that one. So I would still worry about Jokic playing late, but I think he's a good enough play, at this point. Anything else to look up here? Your most duped lineups, actually, cash game lineup. Why not? Cash game lineup probably be this one. Schroeder, Pajemski, Cam Johnson, Julius Randle, Nikola Jokic, Buddy Hield, Kuminga, Moses Moody. If you're going to play this one, don't, because it's going to be duped quite a bit. Would be the guess here. This one also duped, most duped lineups. This would be the most duped: Schroeder, Moody, Buddy Hield, Cam Johnson, Julius Randle, Pajemski, Keegan Murray, Nikola Jokic. That's one I was actually looking at before, so I'm glad that didn't work out. Do I like Brown or Conley more? So it's tough. Brown, I think, projects better for me. I don't know why I'm looking on my sheet when I could look on the computer, but I'll do it over here. I got Brown projected for 26.1. Stokastic's got him at 23.1. So they are a little bit lower than me. I've got Conley at 23.5, Stokastic at 22.6. So personally, I would favor Brown. I know guys like Josh Engelman don't like Brown that much, but he's shooting fairly well. It's a soft matchup. He's got 64% true shooting on the year. And Brown's projected as well for 33 minutes. And I think he's one of those guys too, where even if this game gets weird, you're still probably playing Brown a lot of minutes because that's kind of what he's built to do. So I would take Brown. Conley's coming up a lot in the Sims, though. I will say that. What's Herter's projection? Figured he would show up more. I actually do have Herter in the lineup I built before the show. So you're not far off from me. I got Herter at 21.3. Stokastic has Herter at 20.7. He's not projected for a ton of minutes, 25.7, but I think the matchup fits. So I don't mind Herter. That's one of those plays. Brown's definitely going to get minutes. He's like, if they ramp down Jokic's minutes, have him play high 20s, like Christian Brown still plays, mid 30s, I would think. Anything else to show you guys here? I'm trying to think what else would be worthwhile. Real fast, we'll go over the ownership on Stokastic, see what they have. Maybe just highlight some low-owned plays there. Hopefully did a good enough job of that in the beginning. Now, let me log in here too. Just wanted to try to end the video with some steam here. But the unabated segment's going to move around every day. So I'm basically just going to run that whenever they put them out. So some days it's going to be 4:15. Some days it's going to be 4:30. Like usually it's going to be 4:30. Wiggins officially out. Is that official? Because thank God. I don't want to have to worry about that one later on. But if Wiggins is out, you get carte blanche to play Pajemski, Moody, and those guys, and Hield. I think those would be the big three. Moody, though, I would watch out. Like if he's not starting, he's going to be played 50% of the time. I'd probably consider swapping off Moody late. So like the starters in that case would, well, we could figure that out in a moment. Low-owned players here. You got John Collins under 10% on DK, Zaire Williams under 10%, DeMar DeRozan, Claxton, Lively, Draymond. Look, if Draymond's performance somehow is an aberration and he's going to come back out and be good again, I would say that Draymond would be a player that at low ownership, there's some game theory in how he could do well, or basically he becomes the launching point of this entire offense. I don't think it's likely because the rate data doesn't support it in moments without Steph Curry and without Klay Thompson in the past, but it is a low-owned Draymond who hasn't played anything well in box score-wise so far this year, so don't think people will be there very much. Finney Smith, Colin Sexton, Keontae George, Kyrie Irving, Noah Clowney, Looney. Looney will get your ownership product down, but again, the minutes are a little bit of a risk. Clarkson, honestly, a lot of it of a risk. Clarkson, McDaniels, Brandon Ingram. Love Brandon Ingram at 6% ownership. Think that he has a very good shot of going off here. His numbers look a lot better in court time where there isn't a true point guard out there. So Ingram, to me, I think doing a lot tonight, I'd be a big fan of. Jordan Hawkins, Kyle Anderson, Luka Doncic under 5%. If he somehow plays this full run and beats Minnesota, he won't be owned very much. Peyton, Wilson, Russell Westbrook, PJ Washington. So Mavs definitely under-owned. I mean, in terms of what their chances are of winning a tournament, just the question is, what do they do on a back-to-back? I think would be really the big worry, but that's also a worry for Denver, and Denver's certainly going to be played. Here's all you guys. A lot of guys under 10% for a 4-game slate. Got to be honest. Really makes me worry about the Golden State stuff because, boy, you just don't play Golden State tonight. You don't play a single Warrior. It's not like the most plus EV move, but you have enough projectable players around that. That's certainly one way to get unique in tournaments. So that's that. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop it now. Otherwise, I'll hop off here. But appreciate you guys watching. That ad vid was super steamy. Look, I guess I'll talk over it. I'll make it work. But I do appreciate you guys being here. Again, it's a brand new channel here, so support does go a long way. Please do check out Stokastic, 15% off. Link in the description for that. That includes all their data and tools. Unabated as well, $30 off all their data packages and tools. And really a fun thing to have. Honestly, if you have the resource to do it, I'm very lucky to get access to both through my partnerships with Stokastic and Unabated. But if you have the resource to do it, having those products are really nice to have in your arsenal if you're playing money, and especially for prop betting. Like the Unabated tool, there's not enough people are on it, and I think it works really well, and I think it's made by bettors, and when people are making the products so they have skin in the game, the products turn out better. So biggest cosign I give to Unabated, check them out, and of course I appreciate them a bunch for helping me put on the show every day. Thank you to everybody who's subscribed already. Gamble responsibly. Thanks to our friends at Underdog for giving me this graphic, even though it's always money time here. And check the chat, see if you've got anything good. 3x cash on day one of viewing content. Hey, I'd love to hear that. I know our guy Ross, Robert Griffin III yesterday had fucking nobody playing Paolo Banchero and got him. So I'm glad that me doing a video made you play Paolo Banchero, even though he was not one of my core plays. But I appreciate all you guys hanging out. Be back tomorrow with more. Good luck tonight. Go play some props. Go play some fucking prize picks, man. That was a lot of plus EV bets. I'll see you guys tomorrow for more. 4 p.m. again. Enjoy your days. And of course, good luck. Bye-bye.